All right. What's going on, party people? This your man Griff here. I'm all done for the day with the face-to-face training. Man, this was great. I mean, honestly, this was great. The last lady that I worked with, man, she's more senior than me and everything, and I can tell she's gonna be good. She's clued in, focused. Just needed a little guidance, and I think she's gonna do fine. And everybody that I've been working with, clearly, they're like 80% right where they need to be, and that makes me feel good. That makes me feel good. And like I said in the earlier video, it's just about making sure your confidence level is where it needs to be at. Because if you're not confident in what you're trying to do, no matter how much knowledge you have of it, if your confidence level isn't where it needs to be at, then that's going to make it very, very hard for you to go out and execute, because you're going to be second guessing yourself constantly, all the time, on every little thing. And a lot of notaries have been calling me saying, well, I just want to make sure. And I'm like, okay, I thought you understood this. Well, yeah, I do understand it, but I just want to make sure. My perspective is, if you are confident in in the knowledge that you have gained concerning the subject, what is there to check? Well, I'm just trying to make sure. Okay, normally when you're making sure, the way I grew up, you had some kind of doubt. But if you are sure that you know that this is what I'm supposed to do, then what is there to double check? Well, I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. Okay, why do you think you're doing it wrong? Well, no, I don't think I'm doing it wrong. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. Then if you have no doubts or no thoughts of doing something wrong, then why do you need to verify whether you're doing it right? Do you think the process is wrong? Do you think what you're trying to do, what you're supposed to do, what you learned is guiding you or pointing you in the wrong direction? And the answer that I get most of the time is really no. No, I learned it. I know it. I got it. I'm just trying to check with you to make sure. I'm just trying to check, and I'm sure they may have called other people, but that's how you end up getting yourself in trouble, because you say you know what you're supposed to be doing, but you're constantly second guessing. And then you're calling around, checking on Facebook for an answer, and then somebody says something in just the right amount of way to make you say, oh, then what I learned was wrong, so I'm gonna do what they say, and then it's wrong. And I don't want y'all getting caught up like that. If you are unsure, then you got to make sure you're sure. And if you're unsure and you're saying you done took training, you've been advised, you know the answer, but then you're trying to make sure the answer is right, maybe it's just me. I have a hard time wrapping my head around, why am I being asked is something right when the person tells me that they know it's right, but they want to make sure it's right, and they don't have any doubt that it's right. And that's the part that I'm sort of bewildered on. And one of the other goals that I'm trying to work on, trying to help y'all to do, is stop questioning the title company and making decisions about what you read in the instructions if you're not going to go and talk to title. Several people have called. Well, I think title made a mistake. What mistake do you think they made? ... Then why don't you call them? Well, I don't want to call them. Or maybe they did call them, but they couldn't get in contact. And I've always said, email them. Sometimes they don't pick up the phone, so then email them. But the question is, why don't you think they did the instructions they gave you is correct? What do you think is incorrect? If you don't think that it's right, then you got to be able to stand by that and say, hey, you did something wrong, and you got to give them proof that it's wrong. And I know that because I've been in that situation. A couple of weeks ago, I was in a situation where they told me to have the signer sign a particular way. Based on my experience, I've never seen it that way, but I said, you know what? They came across real confident. They said, this is the way it's supposed to be done. I'm going to roll with what they said. I'm not going to modify what they told me to do. Come to find out, what they told me to do was incorrect. And then I went back and did it the correct way that they found out they needed to be done. But I was not going to sit there in the signing and have the person do something my way unless I was willing to go challenge and talk to the title company. And if you're not willing to go do that, then you can't be going around saying, well, I think they're wrong and I'm gonna do it this way. And then you're nervous like, well, did I make a mistake? You don't want to be in that situation. Give them a call, talk to them and say, hey, is this correct? I want to make sure that this is correct. Those are the ones you need to call. Those are the ones. You don't need to hit Facebook up about that. Because if you think the title company gave you something incorrect, then you got to go back to the person who you think gave you something incorrect. And that's where your attention needs to be focused. Not on Facebook, asking Facebook people, is this right? When you're clear and you're thinking that it's wrong. You got to go back to them. That's what's going on, and I get it. You're nervous. You don't want to make mistakes. But if you make the wrong decision, it could lead into a mistake. If you make a decision to not follow the title company's instructions, that could lead into mistakes. If you claim that you've been trained properly, but you don't want to follow the training and you want to second guess the training, that's going to lead into mistakes. That's what I'm trying to work on. That's what I'm trying to help you understand and figure out and get out of your system. Because if I'm dealing with 5 to 10 people a week that are calling me, that I'm helping, that I'm working with to not be in that situation or to avoid it altogether, then how many more notaries are out there doing things incorrect? And that's what I'm concerned about. That there's a lot of notaries out there who have no help, who spent tons of money on training, and they're making some really basic mistakes. And even some of them have gone through the Notary Essentials course, and for whatever reason, they didn't grasp the proper way of notarizing documents in that course. Then you take on the fact that some of the notary trainers explicitly indicate that they don't train you in notarizations. You're going to have people out there doing things wrong. And that's just the bottom line. And then they're doing notary wrong, the notarization's wrong, but yet they're constantly focused on trying to build a business. You're trying to build something that you're not even executing properly. So that's like somebody trying to repair a car saying, I got a mobile car repair, but they don't know how to change the oil. They keep putting the transmission fluid in the oil thing. They keep putting the brakes on backwards. They crossing the wires up. All of that kind of stuff. That doesn't, it's like, wait a minute, you're trying to run a business, got business plans, business this, flyers, t-shirts, pins, all this stuff, magnets on your car, and you can't execute the documents correctly to the point that title can put those documents in, have them recorded at the courthouse. That's a problem. If you're trying to run a business, you got to execute the duties of that business correctly. What is the service that you're providing? You got to do that stuff correct. And if you can't do that correct, then you're really not in business. You have basically a hobby and everything. Hold on one second. Hey, Griffin Notary. Hold on one second, y'all. Hey, Griffin Notary. Yeah, hold on one second. All right, so I just put them on mute. Yeah, so I was getting ready to end the video anyway, y'all. But the bottom line is, and this is a notary needing some help on some stuff. The bottom line is simply this. If you're gonna run your business, run it correctly. Make sure you can execute the duties of that business correctly, and everything else will fall in line. Point blank, period. Y'all know I'm here to help you. I'm going to help you. We're going to get through this. Y'all going to be where you need to be, and everything is going to be fine. All right, talk to y'all later. Peace.